quarter and year. We'd think about next year, but only if we had to. This obsessive focus on today at the expense of tomorrow didn't make a lot of sense to me. Our business would perform well for most of a given year, and we'd hire 1,000 people to help us grow. Then in October and November, we'd create our plans for the coming year, only to realize we'd never make our numbers unless we laid off 1,000 people. So we'd do that, disrupting our business and the lives of all those people. Why, I wondered, hadn't we thought ahead and only hired, say, 200 people instead of 1,000? And yet, like most leaders, we didn't think we had a choice. We were working hard and doing the best we could, and we didn't see another way. My opportunity to change as a leader began in February of 2002 when I became CEO of the industrial conglomerate Honeywell, a $22 billion company with interests in aerospace, control systems, automotive, and chemicals. The company was underperforming, having struggled in recent years thanks to a botched merger with Allied Signal in 1999, a couple of CEO transitions, and failed attempts to sell the company to United Technologies Corporation and then to General Electric. But from what recruiters, executives, and others had told me, and from what I could tell based on my own analysis, the company had some good businesses that had simply been poorly managed. Once someone stepped in, stabilized the organization, and focused on the future, Honeywell's performance would bounce right back. During my first months on the job, as I began to probe into the company and its operations, I discovered the company didn't have good fundamentals. It was all a facade. Honeywell was a train wreck and on the verge of failure. We had billions in unresolved environmental and asbestos liabilities, a woefully underfunded pension, an entrenched make-the-quarter mindset, an organization beset by cultural warfare, depleted leadership ranks, no process initiatives in place to make us more efficient, no globalization initiatives to help us grow in the rest of the world, significant underinvestment in new products and services, and the list went on and on. But it got worse. Strangely, the board and the outgoing CEO refused me any access to our financials until July of 2002, when I became chairman. When I did gain access, I was hit almost immediately with a bombshell. Our finance team informed me that we'd have to significantly reduce our earnings commitment for the year. We wound up lowering our second-half earnings projections twice by a cumulative 26% within a period of weeks, infuriating analysts and investors who already lacked confidence in me. Investors knew I hadn't been a finalist in the competition to succeed Jack Welch as CEO at GE, and I hadn't been the first choice to run Honeywell. By reducing our earnings estimates so early in my tenure, and by having to do so not once but twice, I reinforced the investor community's worst fears that I was a lightweight and didn't have it in me to run a big company like Honeywell. Meanwhile, my own worst fears about Honeywell materialized as I probed why we had missed our numbers. It turned out that our accounting was unhealthy at best. No, we weren't doing anything illegal. Everything fell within the parameters of permitted accounting practices, but the entire organization was gaming the system to try to make their numbers each quarter. During the previous decade, for every dollar in earnings, we only generated 69 cents in cash, a fact that reflected aggressive bookkeeping. As a result, our leaders lacked a clear and honest picture of their businesses. Accounting is your primary information system for making decisions. So if that information is bad, your decisions will be bad too. Our leaders were going through the motions, only pretending to run their businesses strategically or even competently. It was all a big mess. Short-termism run horribly amok. Putting Honeywell on a new path. I was flabbergasted, pissed, disgusted, and then some. But I wasn't defeated. One day, in the heat of our financial mess, I turned on CNBC and heard the commentators lambasting me, opining that I wasn't equipped to run Honeywell. I listened to them, shrugged my shoulders, and returned to what I'd been doing. Someone in the room later told me how surprised they were that I didn't throw a hard object at the screen. But I wasn't angry. Rather, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to show them. I'm going to figure out these problems and turn this company around. I was making a habit then of carving out time to sit by myself, put aside the daily pressures of